Welcome to Kensington Oval. Sun-drenched Adelaide here for another round of the West End T20 Cup. Two clubs steeped in history, Kensington and Adelaide. And Adelaide live stream are going to again bring you another broadcast as these two clubs fight it out, keen to get a win. They're locked in battle with about 700 other clubs on 15 points on the ladder. It's a bit dicey at the moment with round two not being played. Adrian Pickles in the box alongside Daniel Frangos. Daniel, a few stars on show today, not only here in the box, but a few stars out on the pitch. So we should see some real action today.
Yes, certainly are. Pickles on and off the field, but certainly on the field, Adelaide bolstered by the inclusion of Adelaide strikers Wes Agar. So he's in the Adelaide lineup today. And Kensington, of course, have got quite a few players who have actually played for South Australia as well. So a real strong, I guess both sides have got it in the Adelaide grade competition. And Kensington, as we've just seen there on the screen, have won the toss and elected to bat.
The umpires have just taken the field. You might have seen those as they walked through to your right of screen. But it is a glorious day here in Adelaide. We've had a bit of everything this morning. It was a bit cloudy earlier. It was a little bit cooler. And a couple of times we've had some heat, but I think it's settled in for what should be the remainder of the day at around about this level. So both batters and bowlers, I think, are going to have something they can use. There might be something around in the air. But also I think if you get in as a batter, you're going to enjoy yourself out there. There was a C-grade game played earlier on. 106 to 102 the score there, so not massive scoring in the C grade, but of course the big boys in the ones can hit it a lot further and a lot longer and a lot more often. It's going to be Wes Agar who's going to take up the attack.
Gee, what a luxury that is for Adelaide. Of course, he's played in all the strikers' games this season, and now to come in to this lineup, what a luxury.
And follow all the scores, keep up to date on the MyCricket app. Otherwise, stay tuned right here. We'll bring those all to you. So underway here. Hunt and Dalton out there in the middle for Kensington. Bit of a loosener from Wes to get going. And it's got going all the way for 4. So not the ideal start for the big inclusion.
Unbelievable. It's as we know, Pickles, that's actually 5 now. 5, yes. Not a ball has been bowled. So that is an unbelievable start. So, of course, Henry Hunt on strike is the current South Australian Sheffield Shield opening batsman. So pretty good players out here. And John Dalton, of course, at the other end, played quite a bit for South Australia as well as an opening batsman.
Well, Wes showing that the first one was just an absolute blip on the radar. And that's the standard that he will be bringing to the table today. That one fizzed past the bat and really squared Hunt up. So the official first ball of the innings for Kensington flies through to the keeper.
Yeah, magnificent reply ball, that one. And this will be interesting. 2 state players against each other here.
No ball from Agar. Worked nicely off the toes from Hunt. He's going to scamper back for 2.
It's a T20. No, it was just on the off chance he was sitting around.
Yeah, so Hunt, in effect, almost took Dalton's spot in the end. Jake Weatherald was opening the batting with John Dalton. Henry Hunt's actually taken that spot at the moment, and currently opening the batting in the South Australian Sheffield Shield side with Jake Weatherald is Henry Hunt.
Smashes this one back at Agar. Not sure if it copped him on the leg. He seems to be going okay. He certainly threw the kitchen sink at it. And amazingly, no damage done to the scoreboard or to Wes Agar. Tidely in behind that one.
Real challenge for Agar, isn't it? As we've spoken about, he's been in that Adelaide Strikers setup, played every game. Suddenly, he probably would have thought he'd at least be in the 13-man touring squad to be in the Strikers team to play tomorrow. They've actually flown off today, the 13-man squad, so not even in that squad.
Or the ramp. Well, I haven't seen one exactly like that. Fronted up to Wes Agar and then flipped it right over the top of his head. Hit the scoreboard, or the side screen, sorry, on the full. You don't often see him ramp like that.
Bit of Glenn Maxwell on that one, and that, I reckon, gee, that flew. That absolutely flew, as you said there, Pickles, and that is, what a start here for Kensington. But none for 14, and only 4 balls have been bowled.
Hunt's 8. Dalton hasn't faced a ball. He's 0. Scores don't quite make the right reading, but they certainly are correct. Get outside off stump, correct in behind that.
Well, I guess there's been that 5 wides, hasn't there? And then there was a no ball, I believe, as well. So 6 extras on top of the 9 from Hunt. And Kensington none for 15 after 5 balls. What a start this is. Real star-studded opening batting lineup, really, you've got to say, with Hunt and Dalton.
John Dalton will be keen to put an innings together here, coming off a duck in his last one out, and just 8 in round 1. Whips that one off his toes, gets himself to the other end. Ends the over, a productive one for Kensington. A fair bit going on. And after 1, they're none for 16.
Gee, that is a magnificent start from the Kensington opening batsman. So Hunt's 9 off 6, Dalton 1 from 1. And Adrian Pickles and myself, Daniel Frangos here, calling all the action here in the West End T20 Cup.
So we're going to start with spin from the other end. Pat Page Jr. is going to open up.
Yeah, he's been in and around the Redback setup, hasn't he? Patrick Page, he's been in and around the squad. Never really, I guess, got a great look in, but he's certainly in and around the mix of the Redbacks setup. 13 grade clubs, of course, so it's hard to crack that final 11, but he's around the mark.
Adelaide give him every opportunity. He opens the bat, open the bowl a lot of the time. Dalton works that one to long on. Started his career, of course, with Northern Districts. John Dalton was the young prodigy out there, was playing senior cricket, maybe 15 or 16, training with the men.
Gee, what made the move?
I'm not sure what made the move, but it was certainly earmarked probably as young as 13 or 14. Quick one from Page. Dug out by Hunt, who's 9.
I remember Mark Cosgrove actually playing, and Darren Lehman, they were playing at about that age as well in the first grade team.
That one swept and swept well. Agar's probably going to just wheel that in front of the rope. He does.
Yeah, but this is a good start, isn't it? So none for 17 off 8 balls here. They're 19 now off 9 balls. So really good start here from Hunt and Dalton. And yeah, really just putting the pressure back on the Adelaide Buffaloes team here. Adelaide, of course, missing Cameron Valente, who's their star player, of course. He's their star all-rounder, and he's in that Adelaide Strikers 13-man squad. I think with Michael Neser coming back, a lot of people would have thought perhaps Valente would be the one out here. Almost a chance.
He's just falling short. That man at mid-wicket is probably, you'll see him just creep in, 1 or 2. And he's done exactly the opposite. Yeah, so with that rapid-fire first over start, and they've got a few already in this second over. Well fielded at mid-wicket. They're probably going to be able to just sit on another over or 2 and then wait for another over where they can launch.
Yeah, it's a great start, isn't it? I mean, 16 off the first over just really gets you going, doesn't it? As you said, Pickles, Kensington, well, they can now just play pretty safe game, really. Hit the 1s and 2s, and I mean, the scoreboard is already saying, you know, 16 off the first over, and they're now on
running at 10 and over. But they want to. Yeah. They don't want it to drop down into the 7s and 8s, but they don't have to go looking for that over because they've already got one, so they can maybe hope in the next 2 or 3 overs that they get another bowler who comes fresh in the attack and maybe doesn't quite hit their lengths as well as they want. Well, this is another bit of rarity. We saw an unbelievable ramp that you hardly see. Now you're seeing Ben Pengelly, who's new into the attack, have to move his own side screen.
Well, he's their other star player, isn't he? Their other star all-rounder. He can bat and bowl, and he can move the side screen. And he can field. Don't know if he can keep, though. Well, I'll tell you what, Henry Hunt is off to a flyer here. There's a magnificent cut shot and just showing all of his, well, he's been in great form this season. Moves to 16.
Yeah, with the boundary, the cut shot slashed wide and it raced to the boundary at square leg. That 6 that he hit in that first over, I'll come back to Daniel. That 6 that he hit was a pretty important one because in regards to the Kensington fundraiser they've currently got going, and it's to help out the firefighters, anyone that's affected by the fires currently. Every player who hits a 6 for the Kensington side over the weekend, the club's going to donate $20 to raise some funds for the much needed people affected by the fires all the way across South Australia. So $20 into the kitty already, and they encourage you on their Facebook page where this game will be getting streamed to and linked as well to jump in and and also donate. Pretty severe time in regards to the fires. I think everyone knows someone who's affected by it or pretty close on hand. I've got a brother and sister-in-law in KI who've been told to evacuate. They've got out of there. Lapped around the corner over the top of short fine leg. 4 more for Henry Hunt. He's on a mission.
Tell you what, he's on a mission indeed. This is a magnificent start, as you can see on the replay. Taking the fielder on, who's up inside the circle and hitting it over the top. What a start this is.
This one pushed through cover, beats one fielder, beats two fielders, might go all the way. He's just going to trickle over the rope. Beats the chasing pack. That's a glorious cricket shot.
Gee, as we've spoken about, it's a really star-studded lineup for both sides here, but the Kensington openers both have played Sheffield Shield cricket for South Australia. Hunt we've spoken about. Dalton's only faced 3 balls. But, well,
and middled all of those.
He certainly has, and that run rate you speak about, Pickles, is up to 11 now, so 34 from 3 overs. And, well, they're just continuing to take it on here. The first 6 overs, of course, in the power play. 14 off that over now from Pengelly. Kensington none for 34.
Dalton goes big. Fielder backing back on the rope. He's got his hands to it, but has busted through them. 6 more. $20 in the kitty. And Dalton goes from 3 to 9. Got every piece of that. Probably heart and mouth just for a little while. You may not know if the fielder was ever over the rope when he got his hands to it. I'm sure he'll say he was.
Well, that's, as you said, going to the kitty, to the Bushfire appeal, so another 6 to the Browns.
Back to back from Dalton. This one is just going to land inside the rope. So he was in front in the over with a 6 off the first ball, put pressure on the bowler. Backed it up with another one. So 10 off 2. Bowler now right under the pump.
Yeah, Page, he bowled a really good first over, didn't he? Patrick Page, only 4 came off it. This over's already gone for, well, 10 off 2 balls.
Make it 14, Daniel. 6-4-4. And Johnny Dalton, he's had the best seat in the house watching Henry Hunt flay them to all parts. He said, well, I might have a piece of this action.
Probably thinking you took my opening spot in the Sheffield Shield lineup. Whatever you can do, I can do better.
So 14 now so far from the over.
Interesting, Jake Brown. Jake Brown, another one of those star-studded players, not in the Kensington lineup, we believe, today. So he does actually sometimes open in 2-day cricket. Dalton actually sometimes moves down to number 3 in the 2-day side, even though he has opened the batting for the Redbacks.
Page in tightly behind that one. Sorry, Hunt rather. Page finishes the over. Another devastating one as far as scoring goes. They're 49 now. Of just 4 overs.
And 15 off that over.
And the other damaging stat in there is sometimes when sides do go at this sort of clip, they're happy to give up a couple of wickets to get the scoring up there. But none down means that they're a big chance to keep motoring on.
Yeah, they've normally got Alex Ross, don't they? The star batsman. He's normally in the lineup, but he's currently playing in the BBL. But they've still got some pretty handy players to come. But these two, with Ross out of the side, are obviously their star batsmen.
Brad Dingo into the attack. Alex Eklund's come up to the stumps to the medium pacer, see if he can keep Dolts in his crease. On the one knee, flays it over cover. Just dealing in boundaries now. That's the 50 partnership. 53 in just the 5th over of the match.
High risk, high reward. They're going for it, aren't they? A lot of balls in the air. A lot of risk, but they're getting away with it here. As you said, what an opening stand here. 53 in 4.2 overs.
Down leg side, and a great bit of work with the gloves from Ackland. Took them off the leg side, stumping off the wide. Well, he'll be very happy with that. Every keeper loves the leg side stumping off the medium pacer. And Alex Eklund will be very proud of that one. And he'll be ecstatic. The Adelaide live stream crew have got that on replay, and here it is for you. Went and whip it down mid-wicket. Back foot was in the air. And Eklund had him off in a flash.
Magnificent keeping, wasn't it? And I'll tell you what, that is a big breakthrough for the Buffaloes. They needed that one. Kensington, 1 for 53.
I was just about to say they're having some issues at this commentary end in regards to getting any sort of consistency as far as putting some overs together. But they'll be happy they've broken the partnership. Dingo into the attack, and he's done the job. Happy to sacrifice a boundary, I reckon, to break that partnership.
Tell you what though, Dalton's 22 off 10, or 11 now, off 22 off 11. Really, we've set the tone, really, hasn't he? He's done it. I mean, you can say some might be critical that he got out at that time, but he's actually got them off to a flyer here, and he's actually done his, in a small way, he's done his job. It takes the pressure now off the number 3, 4, 5 and 6 to come, who in these middle overs can almost get themselves in a bit.
Yeah, I don't think we're too far away from new milestones being added to the game for T20. You're not going to see as many 50s, you're going to see rare 100s. Dingle continues. And I'll continue to rant after this. Singles door gets himself off the mark. Is that I think the milestones will start to become lower, but they only become into effect if you've been scored off a certain amount of balls. So a 30 will be a milestone, but you have to have scored off of 20 balls.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yep.
Played down the ground by Hunt, who's...
Just saying strike rate might eventually... well, it probably already is now, isn't it? Strike rate is, you know, really more important than average now in T20 cricket.
As like you said, Dalton, 20 off 10, got them off to a flyer, allows the players below to come in and keep swinging.
Or play themselves in. So that Doyle can now, who's come in, the new man at the crease, Josh Doyle, he can now just get his eye in a bit, see off, you know, 5 or 10 balls even to get his eye in. I mean, if he's 5 off 10, there's no need to panic. they've certainly got that start. And they're well above where we thought they'd be. They're certainly around 11 and over at the moment. Is that waiting for that scoreboard to tick over, but 57 now. 1 for 57 off 5 overs.
How often do we see the lower order or the lower part of the innings and say someone like a Maxwell needs to come in and 38's required from 15 balls and he gets the win, but there's no credit for it. There's no stat for it. Well, let's make some stats for it because there's only 20 overs to bat. You're not going to get massive scores that often unless guys grind out a 50. Well, they're no good to you in a 20-over game. Changing the bowling now. Back to the mediums.
Well, that's the bit of luck you need just to get you going, and Doyle probably wasn't looking to play it there. Got it through third man, and there's a 4.
Scott Kenny, the new man in the attack, but suffers the same result as every other bowler that's come into the attack. An early boundary off the over. Down the Yorker in. Still good enough to squeeze one out of it. 2 for 28 last time out against Sturt.
It's a must-win game, isn't it, for Adelaide? They're winless so far in this competition.
Well, the ramp, not sure, it has bowled him. Well, it's gone straight through him. His first run went straight back over his head, hit the side screen. And the next time that Henry Hunt has tried it, it's crashed in the middle stump. So the bowling change again has worked. Scott Kenny into the attack. We'll get a good look at it here. Got a long way. In fact, it's hit off stump, so he's got a long way outside off stump to try to flick that back over his head to hit it somewhere near where we're sitting. And the only result was the walk back to the pavilion, but again, as you said, job done. Got Kensington off to a flyer.
Yeah, 26 from 19 for Hunt. Really did get him off to a flyer, and, well, probably wanted one of them to go on, though, didn't they? The Browns. They wanted one of Hunt or Dalton to really bat through and certainly bat to at least about, the 12th, 15th over and really get a 50 or 60 odd in quick time. Now, won't say it's pressure, but Dahl, Rahali, the 2 new batsmen, that run rate's still at 10.94 and over, so they're cruising in that department, but good breakthrough, wasn't it, for the Buffaloes, who have spoken about a none for 2 in this competition. Have not won either of their first 2 games. Having said that, they're top of the ladder in both the 2-day comp and the 1-day comp. Kensington in this West End T20 Cup, they've played 2 games and they're 1 win and 1 loss.
It's almost half.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so there's only 6 games actually, so it's a pretty short season. So Adelaide, almost an elimination final for them.
Even shorter when you skip round 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in round 4. This is about the 3rd game. Try working that one out. Can you explain that one, Pickles?
Well, they did date them as they were going to be fill-in games, and I believe that date's now passed, but I think they've shunted that game day a little bit further along into January, so they will make up those games.
I thought they could have just called this one round 3. No.
Let's have a look at that scorecard. Hunt and Dalton opened the the innings for Kensington. And as we've been saying, they really got going and they made short work of the bowlers. Hunt especially early, 26 from 19 he was. And then when John Dalton had a chance, he got into it as well, 22 from 10, but a couple of bowling changes. Alex Eklund up to the stumps to John Dalton. Great leg side stumping. Wes Agar back into the attack. His first over was somewhat of a disaster. Went for 16, but with 2 new batters at the crease. Good captaincy to get him back into the attack.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Pickles, I reckon that, yeah, it is a good move to bring in your star bowler.
Doyle squirts that one down to third man for 1.
Good crowd here building up, isn't there? Here at Parkinson Oval in Kensington. A lot of action going around. There's tennis going around the courts. There's other ovals here. And people just walking around. And quite a few just rolling into the ground here. So it's a good little atmosphere. Perfect conditions.
Short one from Agar. And again at third man, bust through the hands. Goes all the way for 6. The bushfire fund increases by another $20. And that seems as though it's gone a fair way down. Got a good piece of it. Running around, did have to jump.
I'll tell you what, it's hard to see from the angle we're sitting in here, but he certainly dropped it, then it went over the line. Not sure whether his feet were over anyway, but in any event, Agar's figures not looking too good at the moment. And it was Trevor Keane.
He's into the action again.
Easy from here, though.
Yeah, haven't dropped too many from the commentary box.
No. I don't think we've dropped one.
Hope you're enjoying the coverage today. Adelaide live stream. If you are, or you want to shout out, and let us know your thoughts on the game, feel free to get involved on the Twitter handle. I'll give that to you shortly. Right on the money from Agar. At ADL live stream, capital ADL live stream. Kensington have already shared that, so if you're a Kensington fan and you follow Kensington on Twitter, you'll be able to get to that one pretty quickly. That also shows the bushfire pledge. Hoping you get involved in that and make a donation. The wide Yorker from Agar. Oh, bumps into Doyle on the way through. Sure there was nothing in it.
I've got a theory behind why Agar's actually playing in this game. As you see the Twitter handle there, at Adelaide live stream, ADL live stream. Get involved. Yeah, I've got a bit of a theory.
Well, you love your theories.
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking it before the sides were actually named, but wait for this over here. Maybe some people can think of their theories while he's bowling this ball.
Again, the full Yorker, wide outside off stump. And it's a good over from Agar, apart from the 6 over third man that probably can go down in the scorebook as a drop catch. Kensington, a 2 for 71 after 7. 2 new batters at the crease, Dawn and Rahili. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the Adelaide Strikers have got an 18-man squad. Only 8 of them are from Adelaide. And what they've done, they've allowed Agar to, knowing that there's only a T20 game on a Saturday here, and there's not another game for another week. They've allowed the 4 Adelaide boys who aren't involved at all. They've allowed Nielsen to play for Woodville today. I notice he's been released from the 13-man squad to play for Woodville today. They've allowed Agar to play for Adelaide. They've kept Lehman at East Torrens, and they've allowed Nick Winter to also play. I believe he's playing at Adelaide University.
And we just threw, glove maybe thundered into the pads. Kept a little bit low. That one from Kenny. Certainly won't question the glove work of Eklund. His work down the leg side was fantastic. Yep. My head's still spinning, but carry on.
Well, Harry Conway hasn't really been part of the side. He's in the Adelaide Strikers 18. He's played 1 game. But he doesn't have a grade club here. So he's part of that 13-man squad. They've preferred to take the interstate players away for this game and left the 4 Adelaide boys basically to play in the West End T20 Cup today, which is, I think, a good move.
Can I buy a vowel?
There's my theory. There's my theory anyway. So
again, Eklund behind the stumps, pretty sharp. And there's 2 new batters. At the crease, the run rate has definitely dipped well and truly below the scoring rate of what Hunt and Dalton were going at. 9 from 12 and 7 from 5. Kenny must be getting some good shape. Again past the flayed bat of Doyle. And Alex Eklund having a bit of a day out.
It seems the quicker bowlers, the Kensington batsmen, Agar and Pengelly, they were just, using the pace, and these slower type bowlers, harder to get away.
So he walks across in front of the stumps to change the angle, gets some bat on it, goes straight down the ground, and they get back for 2. And that's the value of taking wickets, is the going at a fantastic clip, nearly 2 a ball, and they can wind it back with 2 new batters at the crease. He moves around the crease as Doyle punches it down the ground. They're going to turn for 2. Good running by Healy. Gets back safely, ends the over. Another good one for Adelaide. 2 for 75 after 8. Second of our the Adelaide live stream coverages so far in the men's West End T20 competition. 1 more to go before the finals. That'll be Woodville will host Northern Districts. We'll be there for that one, and then of course we'll be at Kensington Oval for the semi and the grand final.
It's a top 4, isn't it? 14 teams in this comp. The emerging Redbacks, of course, have been they're in the 14 teams and
currently sitting top.
Currently at the top because they've played all their games.
Merged to the top.
But it is a top 4, I believe. Pickles 1v4, 2v3 are the semi-finals.
Jimmy Kane, his first one, is maybe a chest high, waist high. We'll wait to see the call from the square leg umpire. It is a no ball, so we're going to have a free hit. They crossed, so they can change the field. Lands that one a bit better, but getting underneath it. Agar's back there. Does the catch / fielding. Just the one from the free hit.
Yeah, so that run rate now it's just going back. It was at 11 at one point, 9.63 at the moment.
Agar's going to come into play at long on. They're going to take him on. No, they're not. Little misfield. They thought about it a second time. Then the golden rule of cricket kicked into play. You probably wouldn't want to take on the arm of Wes Agar just outside the circle. Just working into his, getting into his work. Jimmy Kane, he's played both games. None for 24 and one for 24.
Averaging 24 off his 4 overs.
That 1-2 full. Getting back there on the road, but it's going to go over his head. Oh, well, that's a great bit of fielding. Took the catch, threw it back inside. Saved 6 runs. When you get a second look at this one, just caught the end of it there. Prior to that, he had taken the catch, was falling back over the rope. Threw it back inside. Let's see if we can find out who that is for you out there.
That was magnificent work. Absolutely, and they're the little things that all add up at the end, but Kensington here just slowing down a fraction. The Adelaide bowlers putting the brakes on.
Seven off the over so far, including a free hit. So he'd be looking to close this out, and he would be pretty happy with it, Jimmy Kane. Might have put the moz on him. No, good bit of work out there on the rope. He's going to keep it at 1. 9th over complete. And Kensington going at just over 9 and over there. 2 for 83. So, as we head in almost to the second half of the innings, both these players who have gone past that new at the crease stage, I would say. Doyle starting to play a few aggressive strokes, and Rahili just getting into his work. Doyle down the track, smacks one to cover, and it's taken. So they just keep turning over wickets. Jimmy Page Jr., Patrick Page Jr., in fact, gets his first. Jimmy Page was a fantastic guitarist. Not sure if he played a lot of cricket.
Well, he's on the right page there because he's got the breakthrough. Big wicket, isn't it? They just continue to take wickets here, the Adelaide side, and really brought the Kensington run rate right back. It's a good performance. Seeing the replay here. Just trying to hit it through the infield, and clever little catch. So Kensington now 3 down. So 3 for 83 in the 10th over.
Bit of love coming through on the Twitter feed, Daniel. Jimmy Condon, as always, and Craig Thomas, Andrew Faulkner. Hello to you guys. Ryan Butter. So thanks for tuning in. Plenty more we can see viewing right around the world. A couple of Englishmen out here today. I'm led to believe.
So Sam Williams, he's the new batsman at the crease, number 5 for Kensington.
Luke Byers signalled, so it doesn't get to chalk those up in the book. A bowl from Page. Good over this one, right at the halfway mark. A wicket, and so far, just the 2 off it. Flayed by Page, run out chance of the hits. Throw was a wild one, and they're going to get back for 2.
Just got to get a partnership going, the Browns here. They really have stagnated. I mean, they're still going at 9 and over, so on track for 180. But they'd really want to get a bit of a partnership going here. As well, there's been a misfield on the boundary, and that's gone for 4, and that's just what the Browns needed. So Williams gets a 4 there. It was a pretty regulation stop on the boundary, and it went for 4.
Such a crucial part of the T20 game, because every single run is crucial. And you'd have to say, so far, if you were the Adelaide coach, you wouldn't be giving him a pass mark. Grasped a couple, but balanced that with a couple of good bits of work. Williams is raced to 8 since being out there. And this might all come back to that opening partnership. Ends the over. A wicket-taking one. Kensington now at the end of the 4th. At 3 for 91. Yeah, those openers, as we said, 26 and 22. Henry Hunt and John Dalton, respectively. Josh Doyle was just starting to get going when he was caught at short cover.
Yeah, I mean, some people might be critical of Hunt and Dalton, you know, for not going on, but they got him going. Well, that is an interesting bit of work there. That is Rahaley. He's 9 off 8 now. Bit of pressure on him and Williams just to keep the scoreboard ticking over here as Kane continues.
Just outside off stump. He's wants to sweep in one way or another. This time he lays back on a cut shot. Got a good piece of it, but couldn't beat the field. Kane drags that one down. Not sure if Sam Rahili got anything on it.
And wide's given, so that is a big blow. That's pretty important for Kensington, just to a wide +2, 3 from that ball. Not even a ball, so just keeping that run rate around the 9 mark. So they'll be looking at a score around 180 at the moment.
Can't beat the man at point. But hit it hard enough to Sam Rahili to steal a single. Left-hander on strike. Field changes galore from Kane. I'll go through that field for you in a second. Williams works that one off his toes. Oh, trouble here. It's going to be a run out. Eklund misses it. Oh, he's got back. Well, another error. This time a real crucial one.
Look, the throw wasn't perfect, but gee, I tell you what, he probably should have done better here.
Well, they had Rahili halfway down the track, struggling, and almost gave himself up. Then once he saw the throw might not have been going to be spot on, then he got going, but that really should have been run out. Now he goes the reverse. Ackland furious with himself. You might get to see a look at that on the replay. Nice bit of work in the outfield.
Yeah, the throw wasn't perfect, but you would have expected the keeper to take that and take off the bails, so he'll be disappointed. But he's been fantastic all day today. You're allowed to have one mistake.
He probably needs one of his boys just to get over there for a second and just lift him up. He just seems to be he's a bit down in the dumps at the moment. And as you said, you're allowed one mistake. You've got to get back in the game straight away because the next one could come straight to you. And you can't be dwelling on anything that's gone beforehand. So we've got a third man, a point, a short cover, a mid-off, a long on. There's Agar at short new wicket and a deep square leg. And that one is the edge and taken. Well, he does get straight back on the horse. It's Alex Eklund. He's done some good work behind the stumps. Had one error, but that was a great catch.
Oh, great call, Pickles. That was a magnificent catch, wasn't it? I was almost looking to the boundary there. That had gone for 4, I thought, but he took a magnificent one-hander, and that just keeps this Adelaide momentum going.
So that'll get rid of any negative thoughts he had in his head. And what they've done very well so far, Adelaide, after that early Kensington onslaught, is just pick up some wickets, and that run rate they got up over 12 has now dropped to about 9. Well, not about 9. You can see it right there on your screen.
Yeah, we've spoken about it, but they have had Alex Ross play in the early. Well, he did play in round 1. Of course, he's not available for this game, playing in the BBL, so he'd be pretty handy to come in now, wouldn't he? But not available for this game. As we see the catch here on replay, really an innings-defining catch, this one, because sometimes they just go for 4 and gets the Kensington players going again, gets the partnership moving. Big breakthrough.
Tom Vandergood into at the crease. Glides this one from Pengelly to third man. Again, some good work in the outfield. Well, they're up their rate. Scott Kenny doing some good work out there on the third man boundary. As Kensington bring their 100 in the 12th over. It looks like Pengelly might be getting a bit of either advice of where he's landing, or he's either getting told you're pretty close to bowling a no. We'll soon find out. Again, outside off stump. Just worked the man inside the circle for 1.
He's a handy cricketer, isn't he? Pengelly, he's actually he's in the top 5 for both runs scored and wickets taken, would you believe, in the 2-day competition. So he is right up there. I mean, Will Basisto, I believe, is leading the runs and the wickets in the grade competition, but Pengelly, he's right up there as well. I think he's 2nd in the run scorers and about 4th in the wicket takers.
Strong offside field for Bengali, but not going to matter. Rahili's gone straight back down the ground. A couple of bounces over the rope. 4 more. Might be go time as this run rate dropped below 9 for the first time today.
Yeah, they need someone to get going here, don't they? We've spoken about how good Hunt was, 26 from 19, and Dalton 22 from 10. They just haven't had anyone else up the ante.
Slow ball down leg side, worked off the hip for 1, slipped at the non-strikers end. That'll do the end of the running and the end of the over. Successful one, included a great catch from Eklund. And Kensington with just the 8 overs remaining in the innings. 4 for 107. 108, in fact. Here the men out today. Henry Hunt, John Dalton, at the top of the order. Josh Doyle, all contributing well.
You can see on that scorecard, though, no one's really, besides the openers, no one is really, batting at a great strike rate there, are they? They're all under 100 or around 100. So they really need someone to get going here.
Yeah, they've been able to take a wicket every time it looks like.
Still in a good position, though, aren't they, Kensington?
Oh, certainly, but they need to keep going at this rate.
They're still looking good here. 160, normally a pretty good score in T20 cricket. Anything above 160, I call a bonus runs. So if they can get, well, that's their first aim, get that 160 ticked off, and then if they can launch, they're currently on track for 180. They wouldn't want to lose 2 or 3 quick wickets here because Adelaide have brought the rate back. We spoke about earlier, Adelaide were flying in the first 3 or 4 overs with the 2 Redbacks experienced players in Hunt and Dalton as they get another single out to deep cover. In fact, they've gone for 2. Good running. Probably what they need, Pickles, just to get the 1s and 2s, get that scoreboard ticking over. And the odd boundary. Certainly the Adelaide slower bowlers have really, Kenny, Page, have really brought that run rate back.
Wide this time from Kenny and called wide. So he'll have to re-bowl that one. 4 for 111 now. The Browns. A lot of activity going on behind the bowler's arm in the cricket nets here. Wide and flayed at. Through to the keeper.
A carnival atmosphere, isn't it?
It is.
It's good. It's enjoyable.
There's about 3 other teams here warming up, ready for another game.
Well, there's tennis courts all around the ground as well. There's people playing out there as well.
Eklund's interested. No one else is.
Did you ever play out here, Pickles?
Oh, I think I did. Must have been a while ago. I know I couldn't find it this morning. There's also a scissor lift about 3 overs, the 3 ovals down. Kenny again. Again he beats the bat. It's been a good over. Crucial one at this, the second half of the innings.
Yeah, as I've spoken about these, I guess, medium pace type bowlers, Kenny has really brought that run rate down. He's going at just over 4 and over.
One fallen wide, but they've got the sweeper out there. Hard to get under those. Just going to be the one. Eklund wouldn't be happy with that throw coming in. That's a good over. The 13th.
Yeah, so 13 overs gone here. Kensington are 4 for 113. You can join us on the Twitter feed here at ADL Livestream. In fact, you can perhaps tweet in. We're just, well, I'm actually wondering perhaps why the likes of Opie and Brown aren't in the side. Perhaps they're focusing more on the two-day game and the one-dayers. They're not currently in the Kensington side. I would have thought they're two of their best players. So maybe someone on the Twitter feed can...
well, maybe they might.
Well, they might. They're probably on it at the moment.
No other cricket on at the moment that you'd be watching. Let's see if we can pull those scores up for you. Vanderdew goes down the crease, gets to it on the full, slaps it square for 2.
It's an interesting stage here. Adelaide, as we've spoken about, really need a win. If they lose this game, they're basically gone in this competition, even though they're top of the ladder in the other 2 comps. Adelaide winless in this competition. Only 6 games there will be, and this is their 3rd game. So they need a win.
Down the track again to Kane. Gets to him on the half volley, and that's going to go all the way across the rope for 4.
They just keep getting a boundary, don't they? Every time we say the run rate's dipping, they just keep getting the odd boundary just to keep that run rate. It's almost just hovering at 9. It's almost just sitting at 9, and
they're just resting on that start, isn't it? That start that got them going at around about.
Yep.
Well, it was at a rate that was unmaintainable, but of course it dropped down to 16, and from there they were allowed to run at 12s for a while, and now it's sitting at 9s. I'd like to get that back up again into that double figure. The one wide and called. So as far as that test match does go, for those who haven't tuned into that one because they're watching this, I'll give you that at the end of the over. Don't go anywhere. Kane drops that one short. It's pulled away to deep square for 1. Brings Rahili on strike.
yeah, Travis Head, Tea Gully's own Travis Head, making 10 today.
It was out pretty early. Well, just got a touch on that delicate bit of work from Vanderdew. Gets 2 off it. Ends the over. Kensington 4 for 121. Yeah, it looks like Australia have been bowled out for 454. The shining light there. Marcus Labuschagne, 415. 400, that's good going, isn't it?
Gee, I'll tell you what.
215. But right here,
Jeez.
Kensington, Henry Hunt, John Dalton, 2 men out at the top of the order. And then a good contribution from Scott Doyle, or Joshua Doyle. I thought he was just about to get going. And the wicket takers, you can see there for Adelaide, Patrick Page Jr. with 1. Ben Pengelly and Brad Dingle also 1 each. Pengelly back into the attack. Another good Yorker jammed in.
Interesting, Pengelly's bowled, a couple of overs at this end, a couple at that end. He's just mixing it up.
Yeah, started here, went to the other end.
Yep, well, 1 over at each end. Now this is his 2nd over at this end, so he's the skipper today.
They were just worked off the hip by Rahili, who seems to have been out there for a lot longer than the 17 balls.
He's been out there for about 2 hours, I reckon. He's just
laying himself a foundation to launch maybe with 3 overs to go to get up to those scores you've been talking about. Swatted down to long on. Agar does the fielding. Keeps it to 1.
Yeah, so Jake Brown, we've spoken about. Elliot Opie, normally part of this Kensington side. They've also usually got Alex Ross for most of the season, but he's away. There's a couple of others as well.
That one ramped. It's gone all the way down the boundary, but a good bit of fielding down there. I was actually blindsided there for a while.
Tell you what, there's a few reverse sweeps going on out here. There's reverse sweeps. It's all happening, and only 2 in the end. But yeah, that run rate just dropping a bit. It just needs someone to come in and just launch at the back end of the innings.
Well, ball from Pengelly. Really gave himself a bit of room. He went to the right. Pengelly went to the left, and the gap was too far.
Yeah, it's an important time here.
This time he goes outside off stump and whips it off his toes all the way for 6. Fantastic batting from Rahili. He shuffled early. Got the length that he wanted, got underneath it and picked it up exquisitely.
Well, that's exactly what we've been talking about, exactly what they needed. It's a big moment. They get the 6. Rahili gets him going. 26 from 21 now. And Kensington 4 for 132. So the Browns have got 5 overs to go. 30 balls to see if they can get that score. We reckon up around the 180 mark. If they can get it to there, that'll be a good performance. So 48 from 30, if they can get that, well, I reckon that'll be a very good score.
Yeah, these two came together around about the 10th over when they reached that 100 run mark. They've both, as we've said, got themselves set now, got themselves a base. And if one of these is there anywhere near that 20th over, it's going to be a healthy score. Having guys having to walk in and just swing sounds like fun, but never easy to do.
Yeah, David Grant still to come. He can more of a bowling, he's more of a bowling all-rounder, but he can certainly swing the bat.
Kenny back into the attack now. A few fielding changes. So we've got a third man, Point. Man out on the boundary at extra cover, short cover, mid off. So a long on. They're now moving mid-wicket squarer and 2 out on the leg side. One at fine leg and the other at deep square.
He was going for a boundary there, of course. He mishit it, and he gets a easy 2. So score just ticking along now. 134, 15.1 overs gone. Well, here's a chance. And it ends up going for 4, so Kensington starting to make their move.
As we said, these two pretty well set. And give them both the opportunity to swing and swing pretty hard. Got some good rhythm out there now. Got the feel of it. Backs away, gets it over. Point is going to take a couple of bounces. Agar, the fielder, in there, third man.
Yeah, they've got a licence now, don't they? They've done the hard work. There's a real licence here for the batsman here just to have a go. Still 6 wickets in hand.
Got a big piece of this for Healy. It's up and away. That's car park. Got every piece of that, did Kenny. That's monstrous.
Where did that end up? That is, that's gone well over the. Your car's not out there, is it?
No, not that far. Well, they're landing everywhere now. They're coming from the nets, going from the middle.
Balls flying everywhere. That one was so high that everyone just stopped. The fieldsman on the boundary just watched it go over his head.
It's like a scene from Platoon out there. They're all hands on heads ducking away.
There's a few locals just wondering to see if their cars were hit.
So he resets his guard, Rahili. Whether or not he's getting himself outside leg to give himself more room to swing those levers. Wants to crunch it down the ground, can't do so.
I got my car on the other side, so no problems there. He's really going now, isn't he, though? 32 from 23. This is the partnership we've been speaking about.
Went for the reverse ramp. Never really successful, that one. I haven't seen that work too often for anyone. I think what he was going with earlier in the over should just stay with that. Planting that big foot straight down the middle of the wicket, swing across the line. And if it's in his wheelhouse, I reckon he's going to get a good piece of it.
Yeah, so 4 overs to go. 16 overs are done. Kensington 4 for 145. That run rate now back above 9. It's been just hovering around 9 most of this innings, apart from the first 5-6 overs. In fact, they hit 62 off the first 6 overs if you've just joined us. Kensington was 62, 2 for 62 after 6.
Again, they go long. Agar out of there, but it's gone over his head. 6 more. So they're coming thick and fast now. And Kensington motoring along. As they've done pretty frequently throughout this innings, he's got a boundary or a 6 away off early in that over. Really putting some pressure onto the bowling side again. This one high, wide. That's going to get over the right. Back-to-back 6s from Vanderjo. He goes from 27 to 33 in quick time.
Tell you what, that run rate just soaring now. They've launched the, as you said, Pickles. They've got their eye in and now having a go.
This one wide. Too wide, but just snuck inside. It goes aerial again. This one straight back into the cricket nets. 4 balls bowled. 3 of them have gone for 6.
Well, we talk about game-changing overs. I'll tell you what, 18 off 4 balls. This has really just got that momentum right back up almost going out 10 and over. So what an over this one.
Again, he goes straight down the ground. Thinking about coming back for 2. They won't. Patrick Page Jr. will be pretty happy to see Vanderjug at the non-striker's end, but the man now on strike, Rahili, he's going at a fair clip himself.
Yeah, they're both going at about a run of ball about 10, 12 minutes ago. They've just upped the ante in the last 2 or 3 overs and really got the Browns back to where they wanted to be after that magnificent start where they got 62 off the first 6 overs.
.47 off 30 last time out against Sturt. That one's gone straight up in the air. Fielder underneath it. Makes no mistake. That ends that. The wicket taking over, but 4 balls in that over went for 6. I'm sure he would rather they went the other way. But a much needed wicket for the Adelaide side. Page gets his second.
It was a good catch in the end as well. Looks easy from here, but that was up in the air for a while, and he took it well. So, but I think the damage was done in that over.
He gave him a lot of time to think about not dropping it. As you saw with his back to the screen there, Letticoat, the man to come and join Vanderjug out in the middle. He's raced to 40. The end of the 17th, Kensington 5 for 164.
Yeah, well, that 180 is well in reach now. Could they look now at 200? 36 they'd need from 18 balls to get the magical 200. And we got the Adelaide striker, the South Australian redback in Wes Agar, back in the attack. Whose first over went for 16, if you've just joined us. His second over went for 9, so he was none for 25 off his first 2 overs.
Letticoat quickly off the mark. 64, that partnership. They came together when the score was 100. 100 flat. In the 10th over, so they did that in 7 overs. Again, Agar. Well, the throw hits the stumps, bounces away. Vanderjug was quick to respond to the call, and they snuck through for a second. Doesn't quite seem right, does it?
Yeah, a bit of frustration there, but well, they've got 2 more. I'll tell you what, 200 is still in reach.
Again, that good length outside off stump.
But I guess they've got Agar, of course, to bowl this the 18th over. He'll still have 1 more. He'll bowl the 20th over, you'd assume. So they've got their best bowler back. Kensington, of course, don't have Daniel Worrell or Lloyd Pope today. They did play in round 1 when Kensington defeated West Torrens, who had, if you don't mind, Kane Richardson playing for them in that game as well.
So Agar gets it full outside off stump, and it's a length that's just causing some frustration for Vanderjug. You can see him there just swinging his bat. You can't get under this length from Agar.
Yeah, I'm not sure the tail enders will want to be facing this absolute raw pace, so I'll be wanting these two to stay out there.
That one is a bit shorter, gives him a chance to get underneath it. Again, it goes all the way over the rope. Knocks someone off the chair. Well, she's gone down, that lady. Knocked her out of the chair.
Tell you what, it's been quite a few sixes here. $20, you were saying, Pickles?
Down
there
she
you go.
goes. I hope she's okay.
$20 per six going to the bush fire appeal.
Well, there's been a few of them. I've lost count. Looks like she's back in her chair and everything's okay. Valente, 48, goes over the top of point. Gets himself to 49, comes back for a well-made 50 off just 26 balls. Got himself set earlier in his innings, was going at just about a run a ball or just under, but had set himself up to be there at the end. And the minute that he decided to flick the switch, he certainly did. Now,
yeah, magnificent innings, wasn't it? Henry Hunt and John Dalton got the Browns off to a flyer. And they went pretty steady for a while there until Rahili and Van der Judd got the scoreboard moving. And 50 from 27 balls. What an innings!
Yeah, it's still going. 2 overs to go. 175. Pengilly will bowl the 19th. It's full straight online. Letticoat, who's only just arrived at the crease. We got a decision to make. Do I just get ones and get the striker back to the end, or do I swing myself?
I reckon he did both then. I reckon he was trying to hit a 4, but he did the job and got Van der Judd back on strike. In fact, that was Van der Judd, so yeah, we're getting a bit mixed up here.
Letticoat gets the edge, goes through the vacant, slips cordon, races away for 4 bonus runs.
Yeah, talk about bonus runs. We've spoken about 160 as a par score. Anything was a bonus after that, and then we spoke about 180 was their target. Most of the innings sitting at around 9 and over. They've really launched in these last 5 overs, and 200 certainly a possibility now. 19 from 9 to get the 200.
Run out opportunity at the non-striker's end. Sensible heads prevailed. Casual throw. Pengilly takes the bails off, and that's going to end the innings of.
Yeah, Letticoat's gone.
Sacrificed himself there. You can see him make the decision to cross.
Yep. No, it was good. It was good. Actually, very good running from Van der Judd to get himself back on strike, and there was no run there, but you had to go through, get himself back on strike. He did the right thing, and Letticoat did the right thing too by just sacrificing himself. Plenty of wickets still in hand. And we've got 8 balls left here in this Kensington innings. Really important for them. They're 1-1 in this competition here in the West End T20 Cup.
Van der Judd tried to go big, missed the lot. It's been a good over this. Outside edge went for 4. But considering what some of the overs have gone for previously.
This is David Grant at the non-strikers end, of course. He's part of the Redbacks squad. He's played Sheffield Shield cricket for the West End Redbacks.
On the marsh this time, Valente can't get the big piece that he was looking for. But gets the single off the last ball. Ends the over. He'll be on strike for the last over. Kensington are 6 for 182. And there he is. He sits atop of the Kensington run scorers. Good contributions throughout. 32 from Rahili. Hunt 26, Dalton 22. Both of those at the top of the order, but with the ball for Adelaide, only Patrick Page to take multiple wickets.
Yeah, those openers, Hunt and Dalton, just set the tone, didn't they? They just got them off to an absolute flyer, and really, just set the innings up.
First ball off the last over. Goes all the way for 6. Well, there wasn't too much protection out there on the leg side, but it wouldn't have mattered if every fielder was out there. Cleared the lot. Missed his length by a foot there, did Agar. And anything that Valente has been able to get underneath, he has done so.
Hence disappointing for Agar. He's been released today to play in this game. Released from the 13-man strikers squad, travelling to Coffs Harbour today to be given a game.
Wide outside off stump. But Valente went walking. He's done that a couple of times. Gives himself some room outside leg stump.
Yeah, Jason Gillespie, of course, former Adelaide Buffaloes player, the current coach of the Adelaide Strikers, will be a bit disappointed with this performance, but then again, he hasn't had much luck. He's had a drop catch that went for 6. He's had one early that was a wide that then ended up going for 5 wides.
Again, Agar operating outside off stump, and
it's a good comeback.
Valente keen to be outside leg stump. You can see him there, just make his own adjustment. Get outside off stump, he's telling himself. Work it the other way. Now, we did see a replica of this last time. And the very next ball, he walked outside off stump and whipped it off his toes. So don't be surprised if he's a long way outside off stump when he makes connection with this one. Again, is outside off stump from Agar, but it's a no ball. It's going to be a free hit.
Yeah, it's disappointing for Agar because it was a very good last couple of deliveries, but that is a free hit. 200 is back on. 189, 11 balls to go. So only 6 games.
11 runs, I would.
Yeah, 11 runs. So only 6 games in the West End T20 Cup. And pretty crucial game here for both sides.
And the free hit's a wide outside off stump, so run to the score, and the free hit is still in operation. So it's all got a little bit pear-shaped here in this last over. None for 44, Agar's figures. 44, the number of the back of the man who's done all the damage. That score creeps up to 190, 10 left. 3 balls going. Outside off stump and slays it at through point. Couple of bounces for 4.
Gee, this is a magnificent innings, isn't it? Real match-defining innings, this. Hitting, he was their trump card at the start of this game. We thought Wes Agar coming back into the Adelaide lineup for a rare outing. He's been playing Sheffield Shield and one-day cricket for South Australia all season. He's been in the Adelaide Strikers setup all season too. And he's gone for 48. Good comeback there, but, well, a 6 is still on here to bring up the 200. David Grant is going to end up not facing a ball at the other end.
He's going to be a part of a pretty good partnership. 6 for 194, last ball of the innings. Goes through to the keeper. Eklund can't hit the stumps with the rollback. It ends the innings 195. It is fantastic batting from Kensington. And they'll be pretty happy with that as they walk off. Agar finishes with the figures of none for 48. The not-out batsman at the end of the innings, Van Judd with...
Yeah, 62. What an innings. 62 from 37 balls.
So we'll go through that scorecard for you. Henry Hunt and John Dalton opened the batting. They put on 50, 26 and 22 they made. Josh Dahl came in, just starting to get going. He was 17 before he was picked up. Sam Rahili started to get going as well. He was hitting some big balls. And as they did all day, Adelaide was taking wickets just when they needed to. Good partnership between Van Judd and Rahili. But once Van Judd put his foot down, he turned his sort of runner ball innings into something special. And he doubled his balls and runs, went from 37 to 62. Smashed them to all parts. And the bowling card, Daniel, for Adelaide. Yeah. Where's Agar off the top?
Yeah, Agar, well, we would have thought he would have done better than that. 48 from his 4. Patrick Page, 2 for 46, and 1 wicket each to Pengelly, Dingle, Kenny, and I reckon Kane was pretty impressive, only going for 22 off his 3 overs. But in the end, Kensington got to 195, and Adelaide will be chasing, well, Pickles, it's going to be an interesting chase. They'll still give themselves half a chance here. Well,
the good thing they do is they know what they've got to chase. They know the plan. It'll be exciting. When we come back, we're going to find out if Adelaide can chase down 196 to get the win here at Kensington Oval. Don't go anywhere. This is Adelaide Live Stream. Welcome back to Parkinson Oval for the second half of this West End T20 Cup. It is going to be a massive run chase. Kensington in their first innings piled on 195 runs. And now Adelaide make their way up the middle, knowing what they need to get. So there's no real science behind it now. They know the target. They would have worked out probably where they need to be at halfway. They probably would have earmarked a couple of players who are going to need to play a big part, and also or players that they want to be there in the last quarter. But it was pretty extravagant hitting late in that innings. Daniel Frangos, who's been with me all the way. It was impressive, wasn't it?
It was, certainly was. It was a magnificent start from the Kensington openers. Both have played for the West End Redbacks in Hunt and Dalton. Really got them off to a flyer. And then, in the end, Van der Judd, with his half-century, got him going. So here's David Grant for Kensington.
First balls.
David Grant, of course, has played Sheffield Shield cricket for South Australia. Part of that Redback squad. And really leading the attack now without Daniel Worrell and Elliot Opie. Lloyd Pope, of course. What a bowling lineup they've got when they're all available. And Jake Brown, of course. What a group of 5 bowlers they've got there.
Pengelly opens his account, lofted over the top of cover and starts it with a boundary.
We can do it all, Pengelly. He can captain the side. He's opening the batting. He's one of their leading bowlers as well. And the chase is on. 196 for victory. If you've just joined us, Kensington made 195 off their 20 overs.
This one around about the waist, couldn't beat the man inside the circle. Yeah, that is the reality of this chase, is that you're going to have to come up with a boundary and over.
Yep.
If not, someone's going to have to go nuts basically at some stage, hitting multiples. David Grant goes short and Pengelly just helps it around the corner. Elegantly played pull shot.
Yeah, well, he's not just a pinch hitter. He's the second leading run scorer in the 2-day competition, is Ben Pengelly. Right up there with the best all-rounders in the comp. And as you said, Pickles, yeah, they've got it. They need a flyer, don't they? They need a really good start, and they need boundaries every over.
Yeah, that Kensington innings was pretty much picture perfect, wasn't it? They got off to the flyer, which gave them the good base. Then they just went to sleep during the middle of the innings, and I say that in a good way. They went at a runner ball, and players kept hitting boundaries, but not without. They didn't bat with massive risk. But the platform was set for someone to go big, large, late, and they did, and it worked. Pengelly again, round the corner. This time it's going to go over the rope. So, as the skipper has decided, I'll take it on myself. And he's moved to 14. He took them all off the opening over from Grant. And he's got to be happy with that start.
Tell you what, 14 off the first over. This is, it's certainly game on now. This is, if Kensington were, thinking 195 is good enough, well, right now, I tell you what, it's game on, because Adelaide, as you said, they're going to go for this. They're going to have a real crack. They're not going to just, they're really going to, they need probably 60, I reckon. If they can get 60 off the first 6 overs, really just launch from there. But, of course, they don't have Cameron Valente, do they? They're really their best player. He's in that Adelaide Strikers 13-man squad, travelling to Sydney and Coffs Harbour today.
So good start from Adelaide, 14 off the first over. All those to Bengali, he faced every ball. So Patrick Page, who opened the bowling with his spin at the other end from where we are. So let's call that the
it's
the other end.
It's the northern end. Yeah, it's the northern end. North Terrace is that way, so.
The North Terrace end.
Yep.
He's going to be facing Fatchin. Can't beat point, misfield, but they decide not to take the run.
Interesting to see where Wes Agar is lined up in this side, because he can be a bit of a hitter. Number 6. And I wonder whether they'll float him up the order, or is that maybe a bit of a pinch hitter, because he can, a bit like a Craig McDermott role in the old days. He used to come in and have a bit of a hit. Haven't seen it much, have we, at Big Bash League level? Hasn't really got much of a bat at all, except the other night when he needed 4 off the last ball. But there's certainly batting at number 6 today, playing as well, I guess an all-rounder type in the Cameron Valente role, who's not playing.
I don't think anyone has to pinch hit anymore because they all bat the same rate. Page goes behind square. Good bit of work from Grant. Got down low for a big fella. When you require 10 and over,
yeah,
there really can be no one out there who isn't going at 10 and over.
I guess, Michael Hussey was a good player in this game, wasn't he? And he could almost control on innings, like play a lot of, like Callum Ferguson, the way he's batting at the moment. He's Usman Khawaja. They probably need one guy who's just keeping along the carpet, getting the odd boundary. But I know what you mean. Yeah, they've all got to go 10 and over. There's no time, is there, really, to just play yourself completely in?
No, I think one thing they do is have themselves a figure of what they think they can take off the last. So if the run rate gets up to 16 and over or 20 and over, they say, well, if I reckon I can get that one off the last over. So, but we're nowhere near that yet. Fatchin. Again, it's Page Jr. who's showing his intentions, planting that front foot down the crease, and just hasn't been able to get the big connection that he's after as yet. He's 1 off 4. His opening partner and skipper, Pengelly, did some damage in that first over. He's 15 off 7. This time, Page Jr. just works it round the corner, gets himself one. Ends the over. Pretty good one for Kensington. Adelaide, none for 17 off 2.
It almost seems today, Pickles, that the bowlers who have gone for the most runs are the star bowlers on each side. Agar went for 48, and Grant's been hit around in that first over. So
he's been hit out of the attack. Doyle's going to come in.
It's almost like the pace coming onto the bat has been dispatched in this match so far, and almost the medium paces, the spinners, have been more effective.
We saw an over from Agar, which was just about spot on. It's that full wide length, not being able to get underneath, but anything you can get under, these batters do, and certainly go the joining. Doyle still making some Last minute tweaks to his field. Over pitches, but no damage done. Good line, just squeezing him up on middle and leg. David Grant, the fielder out there at long on. It seems like the flame's been turned down on the boiling pot after that first over. It's just simmered down. Not much going on after the original onslaught.
I think it's about 4 off 10 since that first over. So it's completely slowed. Pengelly's got off to an absolute flyer, of course. So he's 16 from 9. Page, he's the one that needs to get going. He's 3 from 7. It's a good start here from Doyle. Must-win game, isn't it, for Adelaide? Kensington are one of 8 sides, would you believe, who are 1-1. One of 8 sides who are really vying for a top 4 berth.
That one beats the field. And Page Jr. opens up his boundary account through the offside.
As you see on replay, just pierced the field, just what was required. 4 off the last over, or the last ball of the over, in fact. Then Adelaide just doing enough here to keep that run rate. Well, they're not quite where they want to be. But most importantly, wickets are in hand. All 10 are in the shed. And they're none for 24. So Pengelly's...
That might have been Pengelly hit that last one through the offside.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, it was Pengelly. So he's 20 from 10. Page is 4 from 9 now. So he's got to get going.
I'll give you an indication of how good that Kensington start was. Adelaide currently going at 8 and over. At the same stage, Kensington were none for 34. They're 10 runs in front. That one's a wide. He's going to have to re-bowl that one. Wind's just picked up a little bit here. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot. Might be able to see the back.
Like summer one day, almost winter the next. I don't know what's going on. Almost need a jumper out here. Page Jr.'s got to get going here. 4 from 8. We know what he can do. He's a class player.
That one gives him a bit of length that he can get underneath, and he does so. Shows all his class. It's one back down, back over the bowler's head for 6. He moves to 10. Just missed his length. They almost ended up hitting that one-handed, Page Jr.
It's like the old Viv Richards used to hit a few 6s like that, one-handed. But that's got him going now. He's 10 from 9. And Adelaide, none for 31.
Fatchin again misses his length and his line. Cut through point for 1. Pengelly probably holds off a second run that was there.
Yes, a good solid start here. That run rate now up to 9.94. They're getting it back. They need it to hover around 10 for the whole innings, really.
Pengelly again pierces the field. He's in rare form. Coming off 100 off just 58 balls. And so far, he looks like it's the same innings. He's just carrying on. 24 from 11 he is. Help that one down the leg side. Fine legs inside the circle, but Dalton couldn't beat him. Hit it straight to him.
It was well done too. If he let that one through, it was 4. So he's going for a boundary almost every ball here. It was a crucial stop there. I mean, so 24 from 12.
Well, that one's been dropped. Well, how costly will that be in the wash-up?
I'll tell you what, that was, I know it's easy from here, but that was straight to him. Regulation, and down it goes. Will that be the bit of luck that Adelaide need?
He'll be playing that over in his head over and over.
And I reckon that was number 48, Sam Rahali.
Was involved in a good partnership earlier today.
So Adelaide, after 4 overs, none for 36.
These two put on 107 previously. So they like batting together. Page Jr. just slowly finding his range. Pretty stacked offside field. Page Jr. goes over the top of it, right over the top of it, and the rope as well. So now he has found the range. And Pengelly and Page Jr. at the top of the order. Pretty formidable opening partnership.
Oh, he's found the right page, that's for sure. 'Cause that is, he's just got himself going.
How long ago did you write that?
I wrote it on the page just before, yeah.
Now milking it. Over pitches to Doyle. Page's turn is around the corner for one.
The page was turned, I thought you said there. But this is, he's just got himself really on fire here. This is really important that he goes with Pengelly here because the two left-handers, you almost got to say they're their two best players.
More runs this time down the leg side. A no ball called as well, I think I saw from the umpire. It's gone for 4. And wides. There's no signal of a free hit, but I thought that he had signalled a no ball straight away. That's it.
Yeah, it's definitely wide. So 5 wides there. So
I'm getting told by my producer that's what the signal was, but it was instant. I'm just going to explain to him how you would call a no ball.
Tell you what, that's got the run rate right up.
Might get to find the replay of that one in the truck and see if I can justify my call. Pengelly jams down on that one. It's going to be close at the non-striker's end. Good dive. Gets there. No damage done. You see there's a late decision to go from Pengelly. The dive was a good one. Throw wide of the stumps. Every run so important at the end of 5 overs. Adelaide none for 49.
I'll tell you what, they're not far from where Kensington were. Kensington were 1 for 56.
Yeah, slowly
off their first 5 overs. So
slowly bridging that gap. They were 10 runs behind them.
Yep.
Now they're just 7 runs, but haven't lost a wicket. Both these two in good nick. Changing the bowling. Eckerman's going to come into the attack.
You just sense one of these two have got to go on with it, don't they? Pengilly or Page. They've got to. They've got them off to a great start, but one of these two you sense has got to almost be there deep into this innings for Adelaide to have a chance of winning, because still a long, long way to go. If you just joined us, Kensington earlier today made 195 from their 20 overs. As we see Ash Eckerman come into the attack.
And he's punched down the ground for 1.
Yeah, you just sense with Cameron Valente not in the Adelaide lineup. He normally would bat about 3 or 4 in this side. Not in the lineup, part of that Adelaide Strikers 13-man touring squad to play in Coffs Harbour tomorrow. They need one of these two to really go on.
Swing and a miss from Page Jr. Looks as though he wants to bowl a pretty full length here to Eckerman.
Yeah, so Adelaide's Cameron Valente, sense playing for Adelaide. The Adelaide Strikers tomorrow, you sense. Well, he's certainly in the squad. And Kensington's Lloyd Pope. As there's a wide, certainly a wide there. Kensington's Lloyd Pope should be playing against him. So it'll be Kensington versus Adelaide out there tomorrow as well. Lloyd Pope, of course, bowling really well, isn't he, for the Sydney Sixers at the moment?
Certainly is, but piece of bowling. What a great piece of work. Brings up the 50 for Adelaide in the 5th over. Smash down the ground, Page Jr. Again, the long off down there. He's going to do the fielding. So other than the wide that got away from him, he's bowling straight. He's to his field.
Yeah, so Pengilly 26 from 17. Page really getting going now, 19 from 16. And as you said, Pickles, besides that one wide there, it's been a pretty good start here from Eckerman.
This time Pengilly gets to work it off his hip. Got the sweeper out there.
Really good, Ross.
Again, just a single off it.
So Page, what can he do now? 2 balls left here in the power play.
Gave himself a little bit of room outside off stump. See if he could pierce that field. There's no one outside the ring if he can get through the field. So that may be an avenue for him to try to come up with a boundary, is to back away again and go over the top of that infield or through it. He does just that. But the length is good from Eckerman. Jams down on it. They squeeze through for 1. Good over. Ends of the 6th. Adelaide, none for 54.
Yeah, and if you've just joined us, as you can see there on the board, Kensington 6 for 195 earlier today. Vander Judd really was the star with 62 from 37 balls. Rahili 32 off 25, but it was Hunt and Dalton who got the innings going at the top. Both the openers 26 from 19 and Dalton 22 from 10. For Adelaide, they're currently none for 54 after the power play, after 6 overs, going at 9 and over.
It's going to be another change. Tom McKenzie's going to come into the attack. He's coming off a pretty good game against Sturt. 3 for 28. His figures in that one. He's going to have to do his own fielding, almost outside the circle. He's pretty quick to get going. Keep it to 1. The field here for Mackenzie. Through that in a second as Pengelly's about to face up. Big shout. Instantly turned down. He's got the 2 out here on the leg side. One at long on just in front of us and then one just behind square. No one there. That's into the car park. Ben Pengelly is going to take full advantage of anything that doesn't hit the length. Certainly from the quicks and also now the slower bowlers.
Just a magnificent shot, wasn't it? He just rocked back. He knew where the fieldsmen were. Didn't matter. And he's just off to an absolute fly here, Ben Pengelly.
Has created a conference at the bowler's end. See if they can work out a plan on what we're going to do to pick up this very crucial wicket of Ben Pengelly. He's done a power of work with the ball, open up the batting as well. Captaining the side today. And also moved his own side screen.
And that was when he was bowling too, wasn't it?
Yes.
He ran back, moved the side screen, then he went into bowl. Hitting boundaries, captaining the side. What more can he do?
Drives the team bus. So that's the conference at the bowler's end. But I really don't know that there's going to be a solution to that. If you drag down a half tracker and you're bowling to a player in the form of Ben Pengelly, he's always going to rock back, as you said, and just pull it away to that leg side. So you can't set fields for that.
Yeah, we talk about players, you know, players who are on the periphery, perhaps, and he'd certainly be one of those. He's as I spoke about, he's the second leading run scorer in Saka Premier 2-day cricket this season, and he's coming 4th on the wicket takers.
He looks exhausted out there.
It's because he's doing it all.
Not often that you hear periphery, which is probably the reason that he's on his haunches, just trying to take it all in. Looking for that ball out there.
Not your car out there, is it? No.
Don't be mistaken, this is not a David Attenborough documentary. This is West End T20 Cup cricket here at Parkinson Oval. Ben Pengelly and Pat Page Jr. opening the batting in chase of 195 put together early in the day from the Kensington side. And Ben Pengelly is making short work of it, dealing in boundaries. He got going off the first over, took 16 off that, 17 off that.
There's certainly a few conferences going on out there, isn't there?
Well, we've got a bit of a break in play. We'll have a look at a few of these cards for you. This is the current Adelaide scorecard. Ben Pengelly, as you can see, 33 not out off of just the 20 balls. Pat Page, who couldn't get the radar going.
No.
He was swinging hard early.
Well, they've moved Agar. They said we could be a bit of a pinch hit him anywhere, couldn't he? He could bat anywhere really in that lineup.
Yeah, I think
listed to come in at 3, so that's
your official floater.
Yeah, that's right. He probably got nothing to lose as well. Have a bit of a swing.
And here's the bowling card for the Kensington side. David Grant opened up. Ben Pengelly took to him. Cam Fatchen Took some stick in his first over, but tidied up in his second. But either they found a new ball or they've decided too much looking, or just get another ball. Coach Russell Thompson out there.
Nice crowd building up here as well, as we've spoken about. People wandering in, watching a few overs. Then you've got a fair crowd just in the club rooms watching the game.
Yeah, plenty of people around here today. Plenty of people tuning in on the live stream as well. Good numbers coming through.
A couple of former star Kensington players I noticed in the club rooms having a look. Greg Blewett.
Yes, he was in there.
Former Australian player Greg Blewett was in there. And Jamie Pinelli wandered past before, so there's certainly a healthy crowd here. Yep. I used to play under 14s out here, Pickles, long time ago. So played on this very ground as well. So it's a famous ground here, Parkinson Oval in Adelaide. A lot of famous players have played for Kensington. Don Bradman, no more famous than the great Don Bradman.
No, not too many.
Any more you can think of? Or? Oh yeah, it stumbled there.
On the, I've just something thrown me on the Twitter feed here. You just saw the handle come up there at Adelaide live stream, ADL live stream. Plenty of action, plenty of likes, plenty of love, of course. Pridham Gua has got behind it, but so has Tom McKenzie. He's currently bowling.
He's got the phone in his pocket as he's bowling.
So let's see if we can't call him a wicket while he's live streaming the game. So I'm not sure if that is you actually, Tom McKenzie. If it's a different Tom McKenzie, let us know. But thanks for tuning in. Certainly for giving a plug. So McKenzie to continue. Get some loop on that one. And Ben, after a pretty lengthy break in play, just works a single. Probably a good idea just to get to the other end and settle down. Brings Patrick Page Jr. back on strike. He's 21. So a bowl from tweeting Tom McKenzie.
Yeah, so that required rate 10.10. Just slowly moving up.
As long as they keep it around that, they'll be happy. I don't think they'd be too worried even if it got up to the 15s. Just think if you can get yourself to that last over, that ends the McKenzie over. Pretty good one other than the 6. They kept that under control after that. 7 overs done for 63. If you can keep it till around about 15 and you require 15 off the last over and you've got a batter in, you'd be pretty happy you'd back yourself. So there's the equation. Adelaide, they need 133 from 78 balls. The men in the middle, Ben Pengelly, 34 off 22, going beautifully. And his partner, Patrick Page, 22 off 20, getting the job done as well. Coming off a 100-run stand, and Pengelly 100 himself.
Yeah, there's a few conferences still going on out here, but really important for Kensington to get a wicket here. Eckerman, we bowled a magnificent first over, didn't he? Only went for 5.
It looks as though he's going to go with the same plan, is have 2 deep mid-off and mid-on. Wants to bowl straight at the stumps, but give himself some coverage square of the wicket. So he's got a deep square and one on the rope back behind square as well. This one, Page Junior clubs but can't beat the fielder at cover.
Yeah, so Page 22 from 20. Pengelly's 34 from 22. So Page will be looking to up the ante.
Whip through mid-wicket. Big gap there. Fielder's out there by pretty good field set here. But now with the left-hander on strike. But the other left-hander, they're going to say with the same plan. He does bat a little bit differently, does Ben Pengelly. This one through point, beats the one fielder. Might be two in it if they get going, they do. Want to get a move on? He does. Good running.
Just a clever shot, wasn't it? He just placed that perfectly. What does he do here, Pickles? Does he keep going? Does he keep going for boundaries, or does he rein it in now in these middle overs and I guess try to hit the ones and twos and the odd boundary? Because it's an important. No, he's going to go for it.
This chips in front of the fielder at mid-off, who's run past it. Allows him to get back for a pretty easy two. And I think anything that he gets that he thinks is in his wheelhouse, he'll be going after. I think if someone decides to bat for time, that's probably going to be Page Junior. You just keep motoring on at a runner ball. And I'll keep hitting sixes.
Well, there's your answer.
Eckerman just dropped short. And every time today so far in this innings from Pengelly, if you've missed your length or your line, he's made you pay maximum.
Tell you what, those kids in the nets should be looking around every now and again. Balls flying everywhere here at Parkinson Oval.
This time he squirts it down to third man. 10 runs in 2 balls. Moves up to 48, ends the over. A real good one for Adelaide, another good one. At the end of the 8th over, Adelaide, a none for 80.
Yeah, so really important innings this from Pengelly, 48 from 26. And he's the key now. Kensington know they've got to get him out. If he's there at the end, well, you sense Adelaide will be, well, they should win this game. He's the key man.
This is where the captains earn their money, to try to work out a way to put together a few quiet overs to create some pressure. They've got that run rate under 10 now, required. McKenzie continues with his leggies.
McKenzie might have been watching the feed while Kensington were batting. Might have tuned in for a little bit, gave it a like, and then put the pads on. Didn't end up batting though, did he?
Too busy. He was too busy on the phone. He was probably next in. Good start to this over from him. Well, Page goes down the track, gets on one knee, lofts it over the top. 6 more. Well, there hasn't been too many overs without a boundary coming from it.
Oh,
big hitting fest just continues.
Oh, it's just it's an entertaining contest. if you're in the area, get down here. Adelaide versus Kensington, really exciting clash here. And really an elimination final for Adelaide. If they lose this, they're gone. They can't make the top 4 if they lose this one, having lost their first 2 games in a 6-game season. There's 14 teams and you've got to make the top 4. And they know they have to win this one to keep their season alive in the West End T20 Cup.
Good batting from Page Jr. Taking some big runs off this over. Keep this partnership together, keep going. Currently it's 84. That one's short. Laid back in it, Page Jr. probably feels like he's missed out on one there. So Ben Pengelly, he's 48 off 26, last ball of the over. Tries to glide past the man at third man, but only good enough for the one. John Dalton does the fielding. And after 9, Adelaide, none for 86.
Yeah, magnificent start here from the Adelaide openers, Pengelly and Page. 86 from 9. They still need 110. More runs from 66 balls. So exactly 10 and over needed. No Lloyd Pope or Daniel Worrell to call into the attack, as Kensington had in round 1, where Worrell took a match-winning 4 for 11 in round 1 against West Torrens. No Lloyd Pope, of course, here. Both of those 2 players playing in the Big Bash. So Kensington's best 2 bowlers not here, but David Grant is.
Was taken down by Ben Pengelly in the first over of the day. He tries to continue on with that. Powers one down the mid-off. Brings up his 50. A fast track, powerful, dominating 50 it has been from the Adelaide skipper. Good support from his opening partner in Patrick Page Jr. But he will know that he's not finished and there's still plenty of work to go. Again, Page Jr. loses the hand on the grip. Plays it one-handed. Long on for another single. Gets them off the 87.
Yeah, Grant here. Big 4 overs that he's got. He's their star bowler now without the likes of Worrell in the side and Pope. And that's a good ball. Good comeback.
He's fixed his length up from his first over. He was too short to Pengelly, who just jumped all over it, as he has so far in his 29 balls. Anyone who's missed their length and gone just a touch short, he's got underneath and taken it all the way. This time it's 2-4, man getting in on the rope. Catch has been taken. So David Grant gets the last laugh. Ben Pengelly's got to go for 50. And that is a really big wicket. Requiring over 10 and over. And the man who was doing all the damage makes his way back to the pavilion.
Yeah, magnificent innings. He just had to keep going. We spoke about what he could do. He had to keep going to keep the run rate going, but really good half century there from Ben Pengelly, and David Grant gets his reward.
Good catch taken out there at long off. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's Doyle.
Certainly the best catch we've seen this match. There's been a couple of drop catches.
I think you're a bit harsh on
Oh, sorry, the wicket keeper.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a magnificent one-hander. That's certainly two great catches in this match. But Adelaide, a lot of work still to do here, Pickles.
Yeah, this is the pressure that 200, let's call it 200, puts on you.
Yep,
But you've got to come in and you've got to keep going at that rate. And this is that man who took that that great catch diving away to his left. Alex Eklund, also a good stumping.
So the catcher was Henry Hunt, the South Australian Sheffield Shield opening batsman.
That was close.
He's it's pretty hard to see from where we are, but we got it there in the end. It was Hunt.
Page trying to lace one through the point region. Might have heard a big groan as it went past the outside edge. Not sure if that was from Patrick himself or the keeper. But Alex Eklund joins him at the crease, the number 3. Not going to be Wes Agar. Again, he beats him outside off stump. That one had a bit more heat on it. Ends a successful over. Just 2 runs off it as well, so a real good one for the Kensington side, who are looking to defend this 195 that they posted earlier. And Tom McKenzie's going to continue currently with the figures of 2 overs, done for 17. Plenty of cricket to go here. Up to 10 overs, Adelaide are 1 for 88.
That was a magnificent over from Grant, wasn't it?
At the same stage, Daniel.
Yep.
Kensington were 4 for 100. So they're hanging in there, and they've got some wickets up their sleeve.
That's an interesting. Would you rather be 4 for 100 or 1 for 88?
Well, I think with the hitting display that we saw in the first innings, it's crucial to have wickets up your sleeve so that you've got batters either who are going to be in or who are going to come in. Again, McKenzie drops it straight on the length. So, yeah, I think they'll be okay. They'll be happy with where they are. They probably want Page to go the full length.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? 12 runs, would you rather be 12 runs more? Or would you rather be 1 or 4 down? So it's, as you said though, wickets in hand to launch in the back half here. But Kensington did end up with 195. Adelaide's still a long, long way from that, that mark. They still need 107 to win.
Good job here, McKenzie.
He certainly has. None for 19 now in his 3rd over.
Eklund swats one out to the point boundary. Man out there, just the one. And with the new batter on strike, or in the game, gives him a chance to bowl a few balls at him without, while he's still getting set. So his figures won't go. He'll end up with some pretty good figures here. Unless, of course, he keeps bowling nose. He's haunched over in the middle of the wicket. That one got away from him, and Patrick Page jumped all over it.
Yeah, there's the old commentator's curse. He was bowling a magnificent spell up till that ball. Probably the only real bad ball he's bowled.
He slumped over in the middle of the wicket. Couldn't believe that his last ball of his over, that he's bowling so well. So not the last ball. It's gone for 4. Needs to finish off here. Patrick Page is going to retain the strike. Adelaide 1 for 96 after 11.
Yeah, so Page 36 here from 32. Just sense he's got to be there for the long haul here. Needs someone to bat around him. Eklund's 2 from 3. And Adelaide's still requiring 101 runs off 66 balls.
So he can go at a runner ball from here on in, with the a few other batters coming in, playing a few 15, 21 cameos off 10 balls, off 8.
Yep.
Just come in,
Yep.
throw your bat.
Yep.
You get your you get some runs as long as he keeps staying there. Make sure you give us your opinions on our opinions on the Twitter feed. There's the handle for you. Page pushes to cover.
Yeah, you're right there, Pickles. They certainly need someone to come in and, you know, throw their bat around and get a 20 off 10 or a 15 off 8, just to get that run rate required down. It's creeping up every over now, up to now 11. I don't reckon they'd want it to go above 12. I know, you know, they can rein it back, but they've just got to keep it under check. That was a big blow, wasn't it? Pengelly going when he did 50 from 28 balls. He was in command out there.
Yeah, they would have loved another 3 to 5 overs more of him out there in full swing. Doyle, the reverse from this from Alex Eklund was a full bunger in the end, and he just swatted it away and then did not move. Knew as soon as he got a piece of it that it was gone for 4. There's no coverage down there. Beat the man at short fine leg.
That's the modern batsman, isn't it? I think when we were growing up, you wouldn't ever see that, would you? You'd never see that shot.
Certainly not to the
No, to a full toss.
full toss off the spinner.
Yep. But he knew where the fieldsman was. He knew he could get it past him.
Pushed it out on the leg side. Thought about 2. Level heads prevailed. Didn't take it.
Not a bad spell, this one, though, from Doyle. He's into his 3rd over here. Only conceded 26. If he can keep it around that mark, he'll be happy with that. But he hasn't. Because that's another one. That's another 6.
Page goes long. They're having trouble closing out these overs here, Kensington. They seem to put together maybe 4 balls that they are reasonably happy with. And they can't close out the over. And this time it was Page Jr. Moves himself up to 44. And they just keep clicking on at around about this 10 or 11 run rate mark as the wind really picks up. And that glorious sunny day, not so sunny at the moment. Tom McKenzie to continue, his last. He's got none for 25. That 6 also seems to occur whenever we give that bowler a rap about the over. We've done it just about every time. Down the track comes Eklund. Just lofts it over the top of cover.
Yeah, they're just getting that boundary when they need it, don't they? It's been a good over, and then suddenly Adelaide hit a boundary off the last ball of quite a few overs that have just kept that run rate under check. Still need 11.23 and over though.
Swept from Page Jr. Coverage out there, just the one.
Actually got Jake Brown over there. He's actually watching the game. He looks pretty fit, so not not sure why he's not out there.
Been pretty impressed here with Tom McKenzie. The reverse switch hit over the top of the two fielders inside the circle. Again to give the bowler a wrap, and he's gone for 4, but that was not his. Nothing that he did wrong. That's just clever batting from Alex Eklund, the Adelaide keeper. Seems to be a favoured shot of his. This time he goes onto the onside. Gets through them as well, back-to-back boundaries.
Well, we gave McKenzie a wrap again, and his last 2 balls went for 8 runs off his last 2 and ruined what were, up until then, excellent figures. Still not bad. You'll still take that, but in the end, probably didn't get what he deserved. As you can see here, Pengelly really set the standard, didn't he? 50 from 30 balls. Page 45 now from 38, and Eklund's 16 from 10. They've still got Wes Agar, almost like a pinch-hitting role there. He can bat anywhere in this lineup. Likely to come in next. Cameron Valente, we've spoken about, unavailable for today's game. He's with the Adelaide Strikers.
So even though those last couple of boundaries off McKenzie's over, still 35 off his 4. Page gets a long way outside. Off stump, but can't lap it around the corner. So I said earlier on about the way that Kensington played their innings, how they got off to a fly, then sort of went to sleep but kept turning it over. Well, in that time when they've been turning it over, Adelaide have upped the ante, and after 13, Kenzie's were 4 for 113. So Adelaide are now in front. Page rocks back. Doesn't get anywhere near what he wanted on that. Only good for 1. But what they need to have up their sleeve, of course, is someone who can bat the same way the Vanderjee did at the end of their innings when he really was going at nearly 3 a ball.
Yeah, someone who can just come in and just play a little cameo. Cameo is probably what they need, just a real, 20 off 10 balls, or just get that run rate up and the required run rate down, and plenty of wickets in hand. They've got 9. So that's not the issue. 9 wickets in hand. They're not going to be bowled out. They've plenty of wickets, but time running out. Only 6 overs left after this one.
I don't think the run rate would be any concern at all, because if they maintain this and they go into the last needing 12, well, they'd back themselves in. Another quick single taken. Now this is something similar to what the Kensington side did. But it was at this point when Kensington actually put their foot down. They've had their turn of slowing down.
Yep.
But it looks as though Eklund and Page Jr. have just sitting on Fatchin here a little bit, just taking a couple of ones. Tries to burst through cover, can do so. Bit of work out there by the sweeper.
Yeah.
Saves the boundary.
If Kensington win this game, they could be in the top 4 this evening. That's how big it is for them. They're 1-1 at the moment. They can win this. They'll obviously go to 2-1, be right up there in the mix. Might be in 4th spot this evening, so they know what's on the line for them. Adelaide, of course, really just need this win to get them going. We've spoken about how they've lost both their games in this West End T20 Cup competition. So at the end of the over, Adelaide are 1 for 123.
As you can see there, that was that innings we're talking about. Tom Vanderjerk, 62 off 37. He went nuts in the second half of his innings. He was going at about a run a ball up until probably about 17, 18 balls. And then he really just turned it on. Good partnership with Sam Rahili. They put on 64. They got a good kick start at the top of the innings between from Dalton and Henry Hunt. And they put on 50 in quick time. Tom McKenzie's situated right in front of us now. We might be able to find out if he did like it on Twitter. The ramp unsuccessful there from Page Jr., but it's gone through the keeper, and they're going to get through for 1.
So David Grant back into the attack. Big over this one. You just sense they need they need an over where they can just hit 20 off, obviously, to get that run rate required right down. They haven't really got it so far. They've just been.
What do you think that? What do you think that run rate down? What would you be wanting that to be down to?
Yeah, I reckon. I'd just want it to be under 12. I wouldn't. Once it gets to, it's almost getting to 2 a ball now. So, well, it is over 2 a ball now. So, just don't want it to get any worse than this.
Going short and wide.
Well, that helps. A wide.
So I don't think the modern player would concern themselves with 12. I think they believe that they can get 12 off and over. So as long as they can maintain the rage.
Yeah, if they can maintain it, yeah.
And get themselves to somewhere near there, well, then they'll be happy with that.
I mean, anything can happen in a last over. We've seen that over the years. Anything can happen. If you need, I remember South Australia winning a one-day cup. Tasmania only needed, I think it was 3 off the last over. So anything can happen when you take a game into the final over. Whether they need 20 or 2 off it.
It certainly looks like Adelaide are going to take this game deep, regardless of the outcome. Just 70 required from the last 34 balls. Grant flies one past the bat. Considering his first over went for 14, all of those coming off the bat of Ben Pengelly. He then picked him up in his second over at the last laugh, and he's now halfway through his third over. Figures of 1 for 18. Jams in the Yorker, well played from Page Jr.
Yeah, a bit of pace, hasn't he? I remember actually watching him bowl for South Australia against Western Australia 2 years ago. That Western Australian lineup had Michael Klinger, Adam Voges, Ashton Turner,
Graham Wood,
Mike Valletta. No, Jeff Marsh. No, but yeah, Grant was playing in that game, so he's showing why today after that first over. He's been very impressive.
Another rant, this time from Eklund. Got some good height on it. It's not going to make the rope. They're going to get back from 2. 4-2 rather. But, Alex Eklund, the Adelaide keeper, probably played more unconventional shots than conventional shots in this innings of 14 balls. A couple of reverse sweeps and a standing reverse lap. That one, the ramp. Been entertaining 21. This time gets across outside off stump, clubs it down the ground. For 1. Ends the over, he retains the strike. He goes to 22. Adelaide still requires 67 from 31 in chase of this mammoth 195.
There's a bit of a conference now, just off the screen at the moment, but the Adelaide players having a bit of a conference with the 12th man, perhaps a little message.
Can you bring out a heater? Is that the
Yeah, well, it is getting cold. 40 degrees it's been all week in Adelaide, and suddenly reaching for the jacket out here.
So after 15 overs, the comparison, Kensington were 4 for 132. And Adelaide at the moment neck and neck, 1 for 130. So the question you asked before about what would you rather, runs, wickets, well, that's why it's wickets in hand, because they've caught up with the runs. You can't get the wickets back.
No. They did have a great last 5 overs though, didn't they, Kensington? What did they get? 60 odd, 63 I think it was, off their last 5 overs. So can Adelaide match that? If they can, they'll win this game.
Well, they've gotten themselves into the position to do so. They are right where Kensington were. They've got 2 batters in. Eklund's shown he's more than happy to play every shot in the book. He's got himself to 23 off 16.
I'm not sure they're in the book, Pickles.
No. And Page Jr.
I don't think they're on the page at all.
No, well, he's... if you want a hole in that, he's out there, the opener. His batting partner, Ben Pengelly, made 50, he was out. Well, he's 49. And he moves to 50 as well, off 45.
Jeez.
Real good 50 from the opener.
Just class, hasn't it? Started slow and then got going and just showed all his class out here. He's obviously a key all-rounder for this Adelaide Buffaloes side. 50 from 46 balls. Can he go on and get them home?
Eklund opens up their leg, gets himself front on and swats it out there. They've got a bit of coverage, the Kensington side. 3 out there on the covering that leg side boundary and the fine leg. So 4 out there in total. Back-to-back 50s now for Page Jr.
He just looks good, doesn't he? Just looks like he's all class out there. Could bat all day, I reckon. If it was a 2-day game or a 50-over game, he could make a really big score. But unfortunately, only 26 balls left now. 62 required. And they got a bit of work to do.
Down leg side, got away with that one though. Did Eckerman. He's also been good today. He's bowled to his field.
Yeah, yep.
They set the field straight and deep. Said, I'm going to be bowling full. if you want to play across the line, don't miss one. Exactly like that. It was full, it was straight. Hit Eklund right on the pads, on the crease. The umpire didn't have too much time before he had the finger in the air. It looked pretty adjacent even from here.
Yeah, just great bowling. As you said, Pickles, he's bowled well. And that's just reward. Gets the key wicket. And you've got to say, those couple of balls there was a dot ball, then a wicket. Really puts Kensington back on top in this game.
Yeah, that's how fast the game will seesaw. Up and down in this last 5 overs. You might see a good over from the batting side, which gets them back momentum-wise. Then a wicket from the bowling side, then they're back in front. So it's... I
mean, if those two balls had gone for a 6 and a 4, you'd probably say Adelaide are favourites. But they went for a dot and a wicket. Kensington are favourites.
So...
James Tarkos.
Jimmy Tarkos comes to the crease.
Yep.
He got a fair bit of family tuning in today, I believe, over from Melbourne. They couldn't quite make it to the ground, so they've hooked up the live feed to the TV, and Jimmy told me this morning that they are all around watching the TV. So hello to Jimmy Tarkos' family.
He's come in at a tricky stage too, hasn't he?
Yes, he...
Adelaide still needing 62 from just 24 balls.
Could be the match winner. Page Jr. again swats one on the leg side. Just the ones aren't going to be good enough.
Not easy to come in now, of course. When you've got to go straight away, no time to really get yourself in now. That's a tricky little period here. But Adelaide have got to go.
Yeah, just leave the camera up there and then come and get them.
And played straight down the ground. Good bit of fielding just to keep it in from Letticoat.
Gee, that looked like a 4, but then he kept it in magnificently well at the last moment. Really good fielding from Letticoat. And kept it just to a single.
Perhaps they thought it was going to go and just slowed up on the running. Oh, pushed down the leg side from Doyle. Wide called from the umpire. Everything so crucial, so important in these late stages to show you the sort of petrol that Kensington were burning. Again down the leg side, but thundered into the pads. They were neck and neck, these two sides, as far as runs. In the 15th over, well, at the end of the 16th, Kensies were 145. Adelaide just 133.
Just one, letters.
Might be able to hear a bit of that encouragement for Letticoat off the effects mic.
Gee, I tell you what, he's fielded well, hasn't he? Those balls that have gone down there, he saved a boundary, and they only got one out of it, and then he's kept that one to just a single as well.
Come back up on the grass, mate.
The reverse from Page Jr. Gets it past the man inside the ring. Good slide, but it's got into the rope. Much needed boundary for the Buffaloes.
You're good there? No damage?
That was crucial. They've got to keep going here. They need a few more of those. 53 from 19 now required.
All good, mate.
Kensington finished the 17th over, 5 for 164. Looks like that's gone through and bowled him. Certainly has. And Doyle had something to say to Tarkos in the celebration. We might have a chance to look at that again. Page Jr. the man out, but Doyle was more than happy to tell Jimmy Tarkos, the non-strikers, then about the wicket. There, gets through and bowls him.
Oh, he did too. Magnificent camera work there, magnificent slow-mos on this the Adelaide live stream West End T20 Cup match of the day.
So they had to play the ace at some stage. Don't know they have yet though. With only 18 balls to go in the game, I would have thought that was prime time to bring in the big hitting Wes Agar.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I thought Agar would have come in, but they've gone for the more, I guess, the more established player there, Rajesh, to come in, but not easy now for two new batsmen at the crease. So I guess why we've spoken about how important wickets are in hand, but with that run rate going up and up, really now there's a lot to do. 53 from just 18 balls.
Rajesh's first ball is up, high, on the rope, over the rope. That's why he's been brought out there. Good way to start. In fact, it's Jimmy Tarkos. Of course it is.
What a shot.
Got a good piece of it. Was in the air a long, long time.
Almost falling down the hill there. The South Australian Sheffield Shield batsman there and Henry Hunt.
Tarkos wrapped on the pads. Umpire gets out of position pretty quickly. Oh, it's a good indication that he's not going to give it. But Ackerman in this spell has been really good. 46 from 16. Adelaide currently 150. They need to come up with 46 runs from just the 16 balls. Two pretty new batters at the crease. One who's only faced the 4 balls. And Suraj Rajesh is out there yet to face the ball. And hasn't had a hit in this competition either.
Well, that is a big ask.
So plenty of faith shown in him. And again, it only solidifies just how good that innings was at the back end of the Kensington innings. On wide from Eckerman, but kept it inside the lines.
Yeah, that was by Vanderjut, of course, the wicket-keeper batsman for Kensington. Number 44, you can see on screen. Hit a match-defining 50. Really at a crucial time. And off about 28 balls, really got Kensington's score right up to 195.
Another shout from Eckerman. Scamper through for 1. Eckerman won't mind that. The Kensington side won't mind that. Gets tougher every time it doesn't go for a boundary.
Yeah, so this is probably got to hit a 6 and a 4 or 2 6s here. Really, they certainly need 2 boundaries. But
they're going to end up needing 2 overs of 20.
Yep.
And that's tough going. Anyone's standard. Tarkos digs out a full and wide one. And then kicks the dust at the other end of the ground out of frustration. Not being able to get underneath it and get any elevation.
It was actually a great shot, and it would have pierced the you know, the infield, but there's a fieldsman right at the right on the rope there, so only one.
Looks like they're going to think about two. Cooler heads prevailed. Rajesh gets himself one. He's going to retain the strike.
Yeah, I reckon that's a really good spell from Ackerman. 4 overs, 1 for 32. And, yeah, really crucial little spell in the middle overs there from Ashley Ackerman.
Yeah, there's his figures there, 1 for 32. David Grant, 1 for 22 off of 3. Josh Doyle also bowled out 1 for 40, but top of the order for Adelaide. Both out now, the openers. They both were out after they made their 50s. Patrick Page Jr. and Ben Pengelly. Ben Pengelly was rocketing along off just 30 balls. Entertaining innings from Alex Eklund. Swing and a miss from Rajesh.
Yeah, this is Cameron Fatchin back into the attack. He's bowled well too, hasn't he? None for 20 now in his final over. So, yeah, we did speak about, didn't we, a couple of overs ago, they just needed that big over at 20, and they just weren't able to get it. They lost a couple of wickets at crucial times. And it's just getting a little bit more difficult every ball.
Yeah, field set deep on the leg side. Now they're going to push them out deep on the leg side for the right-hander. Knowing, of course, that's probably the swinging zone for both of these batters. Takos and Rajesh. It's a tennis shot of that one, does Jimmy Takos. But
yeah, chose not to run there as well, so could have just scampered through and maybe got there, but 42 from 9. Of course, Adelaide are top of the ladder in the 50-over competition and the 2-day competition. But in this competition, they're winless.
interesting shot from Jimmy Takos. I think it was a slower ball bouncer. He was ready to play the pull shot. Ended up having to wait there and then just glide it to point. Sort of stuck in mid-stroke for what would have seemed an eternity for him.
There's a bit of banter going on out there as well.
Again, they pick the fielder out.
Good spell, isn't it? He hasn't got a wicket, but he's done the job here. He's kept it to. Oh, he's going at about 6 and over here, so really good spell here from Fatchin. None for 23 from 3.5.
Again, it's a slow ball, but picked straight down the ground, bounced just inside the rope. A much needed boundary from Jimmy Takos.
Just inside the rope, wasn't it? It was probably half a metre, not even that, from being a 6. Henry Hunt.
Like,
Jeez,
look
he's
at
flying
it
everywhere. Yeah,
yes.
look at him. Oh, gee, he got up and didn't even dust himself off.
Well, the last game that we covered, they needed 36 off the last over. The first 3 went for 6, including a wide and
And there was panic stations setting in, wasn't there?
a wide and a free hit. It was
that was East Torrens versus Tea Tree Gully.
For a while there, we thought we're in for the most amazing finish of all time. So they've set themselves up for a 36-run over win.
But they didn't get there in the end, did they, Tea Tree Gully? They went, yeah, as you said, they hit a few sixes off the first 3 balls. Didn't get there in the end, though. G. Grant's been impressive. We've both sides have had a star bowler, Agar and Grant, in their lineups, and Grant's won that battle.
Yeah, definitely got the chocolates, considering his first over went for 14.
Raw pace, hasn't he?
Rajesh. Again. Was into the keeper's gloves before he knew it.
Yeah, just too quick for him. He just, as you said there, he played that one too late. And the Browns are, well, they'll be very happy with this result, considering they've got a pretty depleted lineup with their best players, Alex Ross, Daniel Worrell, Lloyd Pope, who all played in round one, all playing in the Big Bash League and unavailable for this game. There's a wide.
Grant slips down leg side. And this streak continues for the Buffaloes.
Yep. Well, they're basically out of the competition. They've played 3 now after this game and wouldn't have won one. As we've spoken about, though, they're in contention for both the other 2 competitions.
Just miscues one. Goes down the ground. They're going to come back for 2. But before we wrap things up, of course, again, I'd like to mention the bushfire appeal that Kensington are running. Every 6 hit today from a Kensington player across the weekend was $20 into the kitty. There was plenty we saw. We encourage you to jump into on their Facebook page and donate as well.
You actually lost track. That's how many there were.
Yes.
So not sure exactly how much went into the kitty. Have to go back through the scorer's book.
Fantastic cause. Thoughts go out to everyone suffering from all those fires across the state and also the nation. As we wind up here at Parkinson Oval, just pulls that one out to the man on the rope at square, and it looks like we're last ball of the day. And Jimmy Tarkos has to somehow hit this for 32. So I'm not sure where 32 lands, but if he can do it, we'll know about it. Gets a good piece of that, though. Not a bad way to finish with his hit straight down the throat of the man behind square. And that is going to end the match.
A great catch there from Fatchin, wasn't it?
Good look at it here. Got a good piece. Fatchin was there. Took the catch. David Grant gets a wicket off the last ball. And a very subdued finish. It was noisy throughout the day.
Yeah. Yep.
Someone's turned the volume down.
It was a great win, though, wasn't it, from Kensington? They set it up earlier, of course, making 195. And they now, in this West End T20 Cup competition, go to 2 wins and 1 loss. And Adelaide are winless after their 3 games. But it was Hunt early in Dalton, the 2 Redbacks, West End Redbacks. 26 from Hunt, 22 from Dalton. Rahali got 32, but it was that really the man of the match for mine was Van der Judd. 62 not out of 37 balls that really set the tone.
Yeah, he played his innings perfectly. He just went at a runner ball, and then really he put his foot down. He really put it down. He was about 17 off 17, and then he got going for Adelaide with the ball. Wes Agar copped a fair bit of tap. Patrick Page Jr. was okay with a couple of wickets. Pengelly, of course, the skipper. Dingle and Scott Kenny, the other wicket takers, and Jimmy Kane impressed us both.
Yep.
None for 22 off his 3.
So it was a lot to ask for from the Adelaide openers, but they got going early, and Ben Pengelly was magnificent. 50 from 30 balls, Page Jr. 56 from 51, Eklund 24, Tarkos 14, and Rajesh 6. But in the end, 195 proved too much.
Yeah, they had to keep going. They at the rate that they started with Ben Pengelly and Page Jr. at the top of the order. The minute that a few wickets started falling, it started to get a little bit too hard, and that run rate kept going. David Grant copped some tap, but fought back well, 2 for 26 off his figures, of his 4. Cam Fatcham was good, none for 27. Josh Doyle and Eckerman also the other wicket takers, but Tom McKenzie with his leg spinners, none for 35 off his 4, was also good. It really was a good game. It was perfectly played by Kensington. They started like a house on fire, settled down in the middle of part of their innings, then they went again at the end, and that really was just a mountain too high to climb for the Adelaide side.
Yeah,
Patrick Page Jr. With his 50 and the other opening partner, Ben Pengelly, they gave it a real nudge, but apart from that, no one else really got cranking.
Probably needed Pengelly almost to be there at the end. That's how well he was going. He was 50 from 30 when he got out. It was a magnificent innings, and I guess if he was there at the end, you never know. Adelaide could have got there, but in the end, fantastic effort from Kensington and a really good game.
So that's going to wrap it up here from the Kensington versus Adelaide match. We hope you've enjoyed the game. Kensington the winners. When we cover the Northern Districts versus Woodville game on the 19th, make sure you tune in. On behalf of the whole team here, Paul Bonza, Daniel Frankos, I'm Adrian Pickles. Thanks for watching. Good night.